Ayurveda and Spirituality. Is Ayurveda spiritual, or does practicing Ayurveda make you spiritual? First, let's try to understand what spirituality is. Of course, this will look like different things to different people, but at its core, spirituality is about the health of the soul. It's about learning how to transcend the dualities and difficulties of this material world. It's about inquiring into matters that are beyond this material world. Spirituality is about the eternal. To me, it's about discovering my real identity of being a soul and of not identifying with my body and its various designations. It's about connecting with the divine. It's about learning how to be stable through all of life's ups and downs. And then let's understand, what is Ayurveda? Ayurveda is made up of two words, Ayur, which means life, and Veda, which means the science of. So when you put them together, Ayurveda literally means the science of life. Now, the Vedas are a broad body of knowledge, and Ayurveda is a branch of the Vedas. It's actually an Upaveda, which is a subordinate Veda because it deals with the material science. It has to do with helping us look after our physical bodies. Now, if you look at Ayurveda purely from its content and its purpose, its focus is on helping people have healthy bodies and minds, not on self-realization. But that being said, Ayurveda and spirituality are not mutually exclusive. Ayurveda is not an atheistic science. There's definitely reference to God and the soul within the texts. In fact, the definition of health by the great Ayurvedic teacher Charaka goes prasan atmendriya mana, or contentment of the mind, senses, and soul. And this is a key indicator of good health. So Ayurveda is about bringing balance and contentment to mind, body, and senses. It's about living in sync with nature and her patterns. And when you pursue health through these avenues, you live a life that is conducive and facilitates spiritual practices, if that's what your aim in life is. It's not that leading a life based on Ayurvedic principles is a prerequisite for practicing spirituality. Just like wearing a swimsuit isn't a prerequisite for swimming. You can go swimming in pajamas, in thermals, in a big woolen coat and a beanie. It will just be harder. But if you wear a swimsuit, swimming becomes so much easier only if you know how to swim. In the same way, practicing Ayurveda makes it so much easier to achieve self-realization and pursue your spiritual practice. This happens in two key ways. First, your life naturally falls under the mode of goodness. This is a subtle energy or force that influences everything in our physical, mental, and emotional world. It arises when there's an atmosphere of peace, serenity, and harmony that prevails over our environment and our inner space. Now, we can't always control our environment, but when our inner well-being is governed by the mode of goodness, practicing spirituality becomes so much easier. It's like you're swimming with the current than swimming against it. Secondly, when your physical and mental health is balanced, when they don't pose as a distraction in your life, then you're able to focus and commit to your spiritual practices with ease. Now, it's difficult to calm the mind when you're constantly meditating and focusing on your aching joints, right? So achieving a healthy spiritual existence is easier when you have a healthy body and mind. Of course, both Ayurveda and spirituality exist as individual and separate ways of living as well. You don't have to be spiritual to practice Ayurveda, and you don't have to follow an Ayurvedic way of life to be spiritual. At the end of the day, Ayurveda is a science of divine origins, and Ayurveda and spirituality will always be intertwined with each other. If the purpose of your life is to be spiritual and to achieve self-realization, then you can harness the utility of Ayurveda in achieving this. And if the purpose of your life is to maintain your physical body, then Ayurveda works for you as well. Just like beauty is in the eye of the beholder, spirituality is in the eyes of the seeker.